so you'll have to wait a while before you hear about either one of them. So where did it all start with Denny? Well, we were in the gasoline business in Miami, supplying gasoline and lubricants, state gas stations, commercial accounts. One of the brands that we distributed was Amalie. So sometime in 1968, Denny moved to West Palm Beach, Florida, and became our Amalie representative. So for the next 3 years, we developed a relationship, working together from time to time and selling Amalie products. In late 1970, purchased a gasoline distributorship in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And as we did not have anyone to manage it, I asked Denny if he would come to work with us and manage the Fort Lauderdale distributorship, which he agreed to do. In 1977, we acquired Petroleum Packers here in Tampa, Florida. Petroleum Packers is a lubricant blending and packaging facility located in the Port of Tampa. We then asked Denny to move his family, to move to Tampa, to manage the company that we had just acquired, where he remained until he retired on August 30th. We changed the name of Petroleum Packers in 1998 when we purchased the Amalie brand, changed the name to Amalie Oil Company. Now the magic dates with regard to Denny Madden. February 1st, 1971. There's 2 points regarding that date. First of all, Denny's birthday is on February the 1st. Second, February 1st, 1971 is when he came to work for our family. His first day of work, February 1st, 1971. Last day of work, August 30th, 2019. 48 years and 7 months.
Woo!
That is a long, long time. At retirement, Denny had become our Senior Vice President, Global Sales and Marketing. Senior Vice President of Global Sales and Marketing, which meant one thing. Not only did he have the longest name and known and title in our company ever, but he also, of course, had the longest tenure in our company ever. I would like to share with you the timeline and Denny as a person from my viewpoint during the almost 50 years that I worked with him. Before I do that, I would like to make a very simple statement, as I think it says everything about the business side of Denny Madden. That is, with the possible exception of my 3 brothers and myself, and I said possible exception, there is no one that has been more responsible in making Amalie what it is today.
Yep. Yep.
For that, I thank you, Denny. So going back a little bit, after Denny came on the scene, 1971, Amalie had a distributor meeting, and as a Amalie distributor, we were invited to go to Ashland, Kentucky, where they were headquartered at that time. Across the river from Ashland was a little town called Ironton, Ohio. And I guess it's the Irontonians, I don't have a clue if that's the way you would pronounce it, They pronounce it Arton. Is that right? Okay. Anyway, Denny's mother and father still lived there at that time, which gave me the opportunity to meet them, both his mother and his dad. I was talking with his mom. Her body language, her demeanor, her personality, her bubbly personality, and that as it goes. Just as I sat there and watched her, all I could think of was Denny, because it just reminded me of the way he was, the same exact way. They're just so friendly, so accommodating. As I was talking to her, she told me that I want to thank you for having confidence in my son to hire him. Then she said something very unusual. I've never told anybody this story that I'm going to tell you. But she says to me, you know, Denny is a very loyal, dedicated person. And he will be that for your family. Not for my company, for my family. And that really struck me kind of funny. Because you would think that maybe a parent would say something to the fact that, oh, my son is a very smart individual, works very hard, dependable, good salesman, on and on. But she didn't. She just said those two words. Denny, very loyal, dedicated person. So as I'm sitting there, of course at the time I was 28 years old, all I'm doing is kind of analyzing what she had just told me. And I can't cross, it doesn't fit for me. I don't understand it. So, it only took me maybe 10, 15, maybe even 20 years, I really don't remember, to understand what she was telling me.
Yeah.
Denny is a loyal and dedicated person.
Yep.
Some of the things he's loyal to are not really that important, such as his political life. Denny, I know every time he's ever voted, he's voted for his party. No question. The same thing with automobiles.
That's funny.
I'll guarantee you every single automobile Denny bought during his lifetime was a Ford.
Very true.
There's just no question. And he is such a loyal and dedicated person. But as I said, things like that are not so important. What is important is his loyalty and his dedication. In all my years, I have never known any family, any finer family, period.
Yep.
And that is a real tribute, both Denny and Beth Madden.
Yep. I agree. Awesome.
And what makes me jump for joy is Denny has the same loyalty and dedication to our family.
Yep. It does.
Just as I was told by this sweet little lady back in 1971, when I was too young and too stupid to understand. But I get it now. When you have someone loyal and dedicated to you, everything else fall into place. With a loyal and dedication to our family, I thank you, Denny, from the bottom of my heart.
Woo! Awesome.
Over the next 48 years, and especially before we acquired the Amalie brand and changed the name of the company to Amalie Oil Company, Denny and I worked together and traveled a lot. All 50 states, a number of countries around the world. I come to know him as the most unique individual I have ever met in my entire life. He absolutely never, ever beats a stranger.
Yep. Yes.
If he meets someone for the first time, within the first hour, 30 minutes, 50, he will know everything about that individual you could possibly know. He'll know his name, he'll know if he's married, he'll know if he has kids, he'll know the name of the kids, he'll know the ages of the kids. But the most amazing thing is 5 years later when we see this person again, Denny will tell him, hey, how is George and how is Sam and how is Lucy? And they're going into what, the 5th grade and the 6th grade and the 8th grade.
Yes.
He will know it all. Unbelievable.
Yep. Yep.
Every industry meeting we go to, every single industry, knows everything.
Yep.
I don't care if it's a competitor of ours. I don't care if it's a vendor that we purchase products from. I don't care if it's a vendor we don't purchase products from. He'll know every single person at that meeting, including the spouses. And know again every crook and nanny about these folks that he'll run into. It's just mind-boggling. Like I just never have seen anybody that compares with that.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, this guy is the most considerate person you could possibly imagine. You get off an airplane in Atlanta, Georgia. This happened. Get off the plane in Atlanta, Georgia. Little old lady's all coming off the plane with us. Then he walked that lady, held her little bag all the way to the baggage claim area and waited there with her until her family showed up to make sure she was okay. This is just Denny. This didn't happen once.
Yep.
This happened lots of times.
I agree. Yeah.
When I say that he would get up and offer his seat on a bus or a train, it was just a foregone conclusion to happen. Never at a time that I see it, if there was a military person there, then he would walk up to them, shake their hand, thank them for their service. This guy was so considerate, it's unbelievable. Of course, there was times when he got himself in trouble too. We would get in a cab together, and of course, then he can't help it. He has to talk. And especially when you're in like New York City or Los Angeles, where the cab drivers at best, their English is bad. But that didn't stop Denny. No, sir. He's still going to communicate with him. He's going to talk to him. The worst part about it, he would use slang words, or he would take words out of context, and they didn't even understand what he's saying if he was talking normal, straight English. But when he throws all that other stuff in there, they are at a loss. They have no idea what the heck he's saying. Then when they would answer him back, half the time he didn't know what they were saying either. I can remember riding the cab with him, and he tells the cab driver had one of these air fresheners hanging on his ear. He says, hey man, that's a really cool air freshener you have. The guy looks at me and goes, no, not for cool, it's for hell. I don't know. One day while we're here, we're going to go out to lunch. They asked us, we used a silkscreen plastic bottle. What you would have to do, you'd have to have a negative made. Take the negative and make your silkscreen or whatever to print the bottle. So they asked us if we would stop by after we ate, pick up the negative from this place that did this. So we said, okay. So we go eat, and we drive by, and we go to this place, we go inside, and a young girl behind the counter, and of course, he's walking up, and he started talking before we got within 10 feet of her. He's asking her, what her name is, where she lives, is she married, does she have any kids? I mean, just on and on and on. And of course, the young lady says, "Oh yeah, I live in Carrollwood, and I've lived in Tampa all my life, and I have 2 children." And so Denny goes, "Oh, that's nice." And he looks at her and he goes, "Okay, well, when's your 3rd child due?" You know what's coming. This lady was not pregnant. On the other hand, don't ever get his Irish temper up. Like one time in Frankfurt, Germany, riding on the little, what I call the slow train, which you ride around rather than walking. And apparently there was this American, I guess you could tell by his speaking English for one thing, but more importantly, he certainly wasn't speaking the Queen's language, so he was from America. But he's on his cell phone, and he's spitting out the F-bomb about 14,000 times and a lot of other very, very nasty words. And finally, Denny had about all he could take. And he goes over to the guy, and he gets in his face, and he says, "Shut up!" He said, "There is women on this train with you, and you're talking like, this is the reason why Americans like you give America a bad name." But he was just all over that guy. And then there's a time when he was on the airplane with his whole family. And the guy across from them apparently is drunk. But the guy has taken matches and lighted them and thrown them up in the air. So then he tells the guy, "Hey man, you know, that's dangerous. You know, I got my whole family here." He said, you need to stop that. Of course, the guy didn't. He just laughed and kept right on doing it. Well, the next thing you know, Denny's got him in a hammerlock and he just pounded him in the head. So, just remember, you know, Denny can turn into Hulk at any point in time. But I have to admit, I don't think he's ever done it unless there was justification. Now, regarding Denny's a very, very unusual, different person when it comes to him. There's certain foods which is not in his vocabulary. Chicken. No chicken. Absolutely no chicken. No tomatoes. Absolutely no tomatoes. And for sure, no cucumbers.
Didn't know that. Now we know.
Never, never, ever coffee.
Nope. Tea.
He only drinks
Is that right?
hot tea. He drinks it with cream. I'm getting a cramp in my leg. Cream, and he puts a lot of sugar.
A lot of sugar.
Is that right?
A lot of sugar.
A lot of cream and a lot of sugar.
Is that right?
I remember not too long ago, 4 or 5 months ago, we bring lunch in every day at the office. We had a number of people in line there waiting to get their service, get their plate. And then he happens to be standing there and he's fixing himself a salad. And besides putting the dressing on there, he grabs a box of sugar and he starts pouring the sugar on his salad. And one of the girls standing there said, Denny, that's sugar. I know. That's just Denny.
Which he's not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Now, it's been said that Denny, and he says it all the time, has a black belt in Eden. Now, what he really means by that is that most of the restaurants in Tampa, and especially the ones in Ybor City, he knows the owners, he knows the maitre d', the hostess, he knows every single waiter, he even knows the chefs in the back cooking. And he can just about walk in any of these restaurants at any time during the whatever day and get seated like that. It's just amazing. I think of the time in 2009, Super Bowl, Pittsburgh Steelers, Phoenix Cardinals. Carmen, my daughter Nicole, and myself, we decided to go to the Columbia restaurant to have lunch. Now, we went there, we had to get there maybe a few minutes before 11. So when we got there, there was nobody there. So we got our table, we asked one of the ones at the bar, if you've ever been to the Columbia, they have a lot of 3 or 4 large rooms, including the bar area. We asked to sit in the bar because we wanted to sit by the window so we could see goings on outside. Well, we finished eating, and it had to be probably around 12:30, something like that. And by that time, Ybor City had exploded. I mean, it was like shoulder to shoulder, body to body. I mean, it was just packed because it was the day before Super Bowl, Saturday. And of course, everybody's mingling and going down in Ybor City area, just a mess. The line outside the Columbia restaurant, waiting to get in, was out and down and along the sidewalk, waiting for people to get in. So we had just paid our bill, we were just getting ready to leave, and on the other side of the bar, I see Denny, his son Daniel, his son-in-law Matt, come into the restaurant. And they're laughing, and they're sitting down, but they're laughing, talking all the way where we were. So as we got ready to leave, we went over, and I said, "Hey guys, what are you up to?" And they're laughing, and they're going, and I don't remember whether it was Daniel or whether it was Matt, who said what, but the bottom line, they said, "Oh, well, we just got to see Denny, Power Denny in full view." And I go, "What?" They go, "Oh, yeah, amazing." So Denny starts to explain to me, he goes, "Well, we decided to come down here and, walk around and look at all the football players and, the celebrities and everything around Ybor City because it was packed." And he said, so I parked in the Columbia restaurant parking lot across the street. So I was going to go into the restaurant and tell them that I was parking there and, to make sure it was okay. So Denny squeezes through and I guess works his way into get the door open, and he walks in the door, go over to the hostess stand and tell them that he was parking. Well, he doesn't get 3 feet in the door, and one of the hostesses, because he knew every one of them by person, makes eye contact and sees him, and she goes, "Oh, hey, Mr. Madden, come on, we've got your table ready for you." Denny had not even planned to eat. So, being she motioned to him to come, so they go in, and they're going to go in there and have lunch. And as they're walking through, and they get up to where the podium is, the hostess stand, there's this lady there. And she's saying stuff to the lady says, "Excuse me," to the hostess, and said, "My husband's name is Bob Costas." And I don't know whether y'all know who Bob Costas is, but he's a sports announcer.
Yeah,
very
when
famous.
you didn't get a table.
Okay? So she said, "Yeah, my husband's Bob Costas, and he called over here to make a reservation for us to make sure that we would be able to get in and have lunch." And the hostess said, "Yeah, Mrs. Costas, we'll be with you in a minute. Denny, come on." So lo and behold, that's how they showed up, and that's how they ended up.
Yes.
And the rest, that's
awesome.
that's Denny Power.
That's Denny Power. Yeah. Woo! Good for him. Rightly so. Rightly so.
So that's my few comments about. And now, I think we have a few words from Hurricane Castor.
All right, here we are at the retirement party for Denny Madden.
That's
Nobody
awesome.
knows you as Dennis. Everybody knows you as Denny. And you have worked for Amalie Oil for 50 years. That is nothing short of amazing. And you have helped create one of the most amazing companies in the United States frankly, worldwide. I know you guys are having a great time right now while I am stuck here in the office. I am so sorry I couldn't make the festivities, but I couldn't let it pass by without saying congratulations to you, Denny. You are a class act, and you are one of the most wonderful people that I have ever had the pleasure and honor of meeting. And I am so glad that your wife and daughter get to have you back and are able to spend quality time with you now. The big question is, who's going to watch over that Barkett family? Because you know how those boys can get out of hand. So who does that? I have no idea. But Denny, 50 years, buddy, you've done your job. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful time. And just remember, there's no dancing on the tables. Congratulations, Denny. I love you.